What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, I want to talk about my transmission. It just downshifted. This might be a loud video now that I think about it. I want to talk about my whole drivetrain upgrade and how I spent like $6,500 on it and kind of what it's like about 100 miles in. Kind of give my review on how it feels, what it feels like to drive a built transmission, single piece drive shaft, bushings. I got a shift. Holy crap. So first off, I want to start off with the ATS Stage 2 Trans upgrade. The Trans 2 upgrade was about $4,500. So that right there was a big chunk of basically my expense. And it overall, I did the install myself. I'll put a tag up in the top right corner there for you guys to watch if you guys want to watch that build series. And overall, it wasn't tough. I would definitely do it again. I saved quite a bit of money doing it myself. But I kind of want to give some how it feels to drive it. It's not bad. Honestly, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. For a transmission that's built to hold 1,200 horsepower and 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, I expected it to be a lot of clunkiness and just not to feel good. You know, when you think of something like built, you think of it, oh, it's going to be rough. It's not rough at all. It actually feels stock. It's kind of crazy. And overall, I love it. So far, with a couple things that I have slight concerns with that I don't know if are normal or not. When going from park to reverse, sometimes there's like this second delay. It'll be in park, it'll kind of roll forward a little bit, and then it'll catch reverse and go backwards. I don't know if I messed up. Oh, big bump. I don't know if I messed up the build. I don't think I did, because it goes in reverse just fine. Maybe it needs more fluid. I was going to do a fluid check in the future. I'm not 100% sure, but that's really my only concern with the transmission. Overall, it feels really good. I've had no issues other than that. And again, it feels like I'm driving a stock car, but yet it's built. It's meant for high horsepower, high torque. Next, the transmission bushings. So I have polyurethane bushings installed. They were Racebox bushings. I don't remember which ones. They are green, so they're a little bit more stiffer than the factory. I think these are what really changed the difference on how the car felt. That and the single piece drive shaft, well, all of it kind of made it feel different. But the bushings, when I put the bushings in, I immediately noticed a major difference in, oh, I need a downshift. I immediately felt a difference in how the car felt. Speed up a bit here. Make sure that cop ain't following me, and he's just chilling. Installing the bushings, I think overall is what changed the way the car felt. Because if you think about it from factory, those bushings are really small, they're really thin, and they're very soft. So when I install these bushings, they're a lot bigger, they're much stiffer. The compound of it feels more like a boot, like if you know what I'm talking about, like the heel of a boot, like a work boot sort of thing. So they're much stiffer, and I mean, you go feel a work boot, it's like, wow, that is pretty stiff. So they're much stiffer, and I think with the engine being, you know, with the engine movement, the transmission movement, upgrading these, it made a big difference to the way the car feels. And overall, I think these transmission bushings made a big impact because, one, you have the engine movement, you have the trans movement, and then at the same time, the transmission is built. I got a solid rear diff in the rear, the single piece drive shaft. You know, there's a bunch of things that are upgraded, and I think it added some NVH. Now, it's not a crazy lot of NVH. When I think of the Supra, I think of a race car anyways. Like, it's got all these smells, it's got, I was about to say taste. It has all these smells, it's loud, makes a lot of power. You just look at it, you're like, that's a race car. It's got radials in the rear. So when I when I see the Supra, my level of, okay, how much vibration am I going to feel? It's slightly higher. I know I'm going to feel vibration. But the bushings, I feel like it makes the trans feel like a manual. Now that's going to sound weird, but hear me out. When you slam gears in the manual, you feel it go into gear. And that's exactly what it feels like now. I feel the car go into gear. There is no smoothness like there would be on a daily car. It's very, all right, it's in second, okay, it's in third, things like that. The next thing up is the single piece drive shaft. The single piece drive shaft, I think, was a vital part of this build. You're taking a 2-piece drive shaft that has, holy crap, shift. You have a 2-piece drive shaft from factory, and then you have these rubber like gimbals on the outside. I think that's what they're called, gimbals that have play in them. And then, obviously you got that thing in the middle. When you start making more power, you need to get off a 2-piece drive shaft, and especially with the rubber in it. You have these billet aluminum attachments that attach the drive shaft to the transmission, that attach the drive shaft to the rear diff. When doing the solid single piece drive shaft, not having that rubber play between the trans and the rear diff, it added a lot more stiffness to the build because it basically connected stiff to stiff, and now it's stiff. So when I did the drive shaft, I did notice a significant increase in NVH. Now again, it wasn't that bad. I think NVH in a car like this is expected. It's not rattling your teeth, it's not rattling your bones. Overall, I think it's very smooth still regarding what I've done to the drivetrain. And it was definitely an upgrade I like. The drive shaft is also 4 pounds lighter, and it's like 2 inches thicker. So it's a massive increase in size and strength over the factory one. Pontiac G8, you don't see those often anymore. My last piece I'm going to talk about in this video is the solid rear diff brace. This piece was really cool. It looks great. It is meant to do really well. It's made by the guys at Black Market Race, and it's a really cool piece. So if you guys don't know what that is, that's where you basically have your rear diff is attached with bushings. They're meant for daily driving, of course. And what this does is it attaches your diff to your subframe using basically solid metal. So your bushings are still there, but this thing like really attaches it to your subframe, so it has zero movement. I don't have any videos of it, but you can look it up on YouTube. There's content out there that has, you guys can hear the downshifts. There's YouTube videos out there that show a solid rear diff brace and how well it works. So this solid rear diff brace, basically, it keeps the rear diff from moving forward or backwards. And if you watch some content out there, you'll really understand what I'm talking about here. So when you go under high acceleration, the top of the diff obviously stays in place, but the bottom of the diff wants to rotate and tuck in towards the engine, it's going to move your axles, it's going to move your wheels, you're going to have wheel hop, you're going to have traction loss, etc. So with something like this, it really tightens it up. Again, you are taking rubber bushings, making them obsolete, and you have something solid now. I believe that this rear diff brace didn't add a whole lot of NVH to begin with. So if you do this rear solid diff brace and you don't do the drive shaft, I don't think you'll have much of an issue. But if you do the drive shaft, I believe that's when you're going to start to feel the issue with solid bushings, when you do the rubber bushings in the transmission. Originally what this trip was for. I have not gotten on it completely, like, what I just did there, that acceleration, that's probably about it. Just because the drive shaft, or not the drive, just because the transmission's being broken in, I haven't done anything crazy yet. So there's still more to come, and I'll do an update later on in the future after I've done, some high-spirited pulls. So when it comes to the rear diff brace, great upgrade. I love it. It did add NVH when I combined everything. However, right now there is absolutely zero movement in the rear end. The rear end feels tight, feels tight like a tiger, and I'll stand by that. It's great. 100% recommend it. It's honestly not that expensive. Pretty much all this stuff, I mean, well, in the end, all this stuff was pretty expensive. It was $6,500. But the rear diff brace, I think, was like $300. The transmission bushings were $150, and the drive shaft was like $1,300. And then you have the trans, obviously. The trans obviously was $4.5, and I did some accessories with the trans, like the trans pump and then all the oil, things like that. So overall, so far, breaking in the trans, it's been a great experience. Nothing too crazy. My shifts are crisp, very limited NVH. So that's where I'm going to end this video. If you guys have any questions when it comes to anything drivetrain related, at this point, I think I'm pretty knowledgeable. The only thing I haven't really done is replace the axles. That's something I do need to do eventually, especially if I'm going to do drag racing. Comment down below if you think all of this is worth the upgrade, because it's quite a bit. Tell me what you guys think. Catch you guys next video. See ya.